Shot Yaar. Well, that's gone straight up in the air. Wall won't drop. There's no way in the world. He's dropped it. I can't believe it. What is going on?
पहले तो अल्लाह का बहुत बहुत शुक्र है कि अल्लाह ने इतना अच्छा
Brilliant cricket! Wonderful cricket by Pakistan. The fast ball was struck again. अगर सरफराज को ठंड लग गई या वो अनफिट हो गए तो टीम में कोई ऐसा खिलाड़ी है जो हंगामी तौर पर ये जिम्मेदारी कबूल कर ले?
इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करेंगे कि उसे ठंड ना लगे.
All right, Kudrat Ka Nizam is back in full force, boys. Pakistan beat New Zealand on DLS. Welcome back once again to the Yaar podcast. I'm your host, Usman Khalid. I'm joined by Ramiz and Zan today, and we've got a special guest. His name is Arham Hamid. He runs a YouTube channel and a podcast called Stumps and Insights. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. Thank you so much for inviting me. And hello to everyone out there. Hello to Ramiz, Zain, and Usman. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Happy to be back. Yeah, happy to be back. So hold on. Okay, so hold on. Before we kind of jump into it, for all my, wannabe Pakistani Canadian brothers, what is Kudrat Ka Nizam? Can we explain it to everybody? Because it's become a big part of our campaign.
Ramiz?
Okay.
Kudrat Ka Nizam? Kudrat Ka Nizam is Pakistan winning the World Cup.
Inshallah.
Many, but what is the meaning of
what is the meaning
you
of
explain
it?
as the Pakistani on the show, the true Pakistani on the show. Explain what Kudrat Ka Nizam
Yeah. Okay, so Kudrat Ka Nizam, the word essentially originated when Saqlain Mushtaq basically, I think, used this term in a press conference, I think, and he went there like barish, pani, sardi, garmi, and he was basically trying to explain the nature's phenomena of how things work and how things take their own due course naturally. So it basically started from there. It was Saqlain was our coach at that time, and I think it was in either of the two recent T20 World Cups. That is from where it orchestrated, and uske baad se the Kudrat Ka Nizam and the 1992 comparisons merged, and that resulted in a lot of content for Pakistani social media users.
There you go. That's the history behind Kudrat Ka Nizam.
And the meaning itself just means the will of God. That we are
Kudrat as in whatever is written. I don't want to get too religious on the show, but
all right, man. We're doing an Islamic podcast, you guys. Let's shift gears.
We're doing tafsir of Surah Baqarah now. Okay. Let's start with the game, right? Let's start. Okay, so the toss. I want to get your guys' take on the toss. There's been a lot, people have been talking about when we got hit around for 401, everybody was saying Babar is an idiot. This guy fucked up on the toss again. Bowled first. We played Australia in Bengaluru, and that was 370. What was it? 367 or something like that?
365.
365. And when you bowl first on these kind of tracks, small boundaries, you're gonna get hit around for a lot of runs. But this turned out to be actually a pretty good decision given the rain. There was gonna be rain later on in the game, so he had DLS in mind. I'll be honest, I from my perspective, when we were bowling, I was like, this is looking like a pretty bad decision right now, but that's why maybe I'm not the captain of Pakistan, right? That's why maybe Babar is the captain of Pakistan. And he knew what he was doing. It worked out.
Yeah, I think it was a really good decision by Babar Azam to opting to bowl first. I was, in fact, I read a couple of tweets. They are obviously Pakistani Twitter fan base, it jumps onto conclusions quite quickly. And sometimes you must have heard the saying that hindsight is a beautiful thing, right? So whatever the Pakistani captain, I'm not just talking about Babar Azam, but whatever any Pakistani captain would do, or whatever the Pakistan team in its entirety would do, people, including our esteemed former cricketers, would be very quick to jump onto something that he didn't do. At the end of the day, we need to realize that he's just the captain of the Pakistan team, or the 11 players themselves are just humans, right? They have to take a gamble one way or another. They need to take a decision. So, in my opinion, I think uh, उस वक्त भी I thought that it was a good decision to bowl first. Why? Because chasing has been our strong suit. Okay, I was looking at the beating that New Zealand was giving us, but I still knew that when the match would take its due course and when we'll move towards the evening, there might be some chance of dew coming into play, right? Even though it was a day game, but some dew could have played a part in removing the little or no reverse swing that we had. So the best chance to make use of the four fast bowlers that we were playing, it was to bowl first. Because New Zealand, because we have been good chasers in the tournament. B, we had to make use of the four fast bowlers that we were playing, and we needed to capitalize on any reverse swing that we got. So I think that it was a pretty good decision, and thankfully, Pakistan managed to win the match. Otherwise, Baba Azam would have gotten crucified yet again, and I would have been defending him against the 95% of Pakistan's fan base.
Yo, Arham, I love you, man. These guys are always shitting on Babar, and I'm always the only one defending him. So I'm loving
Oh,
the fact that you're
shut
on the
it,
show.
man. Yeah,
That's fake
do
news.
that.
Jhooti
Yeah,
khabar.
fake news.
No,
Donald
it's all
Trump
true,
jhooti
man.
khabar.
No, watch.
Donald
These guys are
Trump
all going to be like,
overshare.
"Oh, Babar is the greatest captain of Pakistan of all time." Now they're going to talk
Oh,
all
man.
highly of Babar. Go ahead,
But
Zach.
I agree with the chasing piece. You know, and people don't understand, like, with against like, it's also the teams, right? Like, look at South Africa. Every game they've lost, they've chased. And except for the one against Pakistan. But Pakistan could have, like, we had them on the ropes, right? So I
Yeah.
think one is, the teams that you're playing. The second piece is, yeah, we are good at chasing. And I have more confidence that the batsmen can understand how to chase rather than the bowlers having even 400 to defend would be able to defend it, especially with the way Shaheen and Hardest Rauf got smashed around. So I agree with you on that piece for sure. I think, yeah, people shit on Babar Azam for a lot of good reasons, but yesterday there was no reason to, even after that New Zealand scored 400. But really happy with the win. Absolutely loved. Now I know how actual people feel. Like, now I know how, like, the England team when they're playing well feels, how the South African people feel when they're watching South Africa bat. I've never seen something like this, from Pakistan. Like, I was looking at a stat yesterday, and it said the most sixes scored in a World Cup. And I don't know if I sent you guys that, but Fakhar Zaman is at the top with 13, and he scored 11 in one game. And number two is, like, God knows who at, like, 9 in a full World Cup. And this is just Fakhar's third game, third or fourth. So yeah, really happy to see where with the momentum that's shifted, everything that's shifted. But I'm hoping to give a little bit of that to Sri Lanka.
I think
Oh, sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
the record that Fakhar has right now, it's of most sixes in all the World Cups combined, and that is, I think, he has 21 sixes right now, and I think he is followed by Shahid Afridi in that list, and Misbah ul Haq is also in that list. But as far as scoring the most sixes in one World Cup is concerned, I think Rohit Sharma and David Warner are still ahead of him. They
No,
are
I'm just
both
talking
of them.
Pakistanis. I'm just talking
Yeah.
Pakistanis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For Pakistani. Yeah.
Yeah. Ramiz, what about you, man? What's
Yeah,
your take?
so no, it was a great game to watch. I didn't really have much of an opinion when we won the toss, because I don't know what the pitch looks like. But Babar's situation right now is the same as Fakhar Zaman. I know we won the game. Uh, wasn't too much to do with captaincy, to be honest. We got smashed for 400 runs. We couldn't stop too many runs. Um, other than that, winning the toss and bowling first, I feel like there was a bigger plan from the whole management, leadership, the coaches. Everyone had their input in that because obviously the rain was in everyone's mind before the game started. And I think given the way the game panned out, it ended up being a really good decision. So yeah, toss-wise, I think Babar made a good call, but doesn't make him a good captain.
And this is like, one game, like, South Africa came down to the wire. Australia, like, I don't want you guys to forget, we were in an amazing position to win that game. Remember, we talked about it. If we have about 160, 170 runs with 20 overs left, we can do this. So that game too, and then they collapsed. It was literally a collapse because like 3 top batsmen collapsed to Adam Zampa. So, we've come close, but this game against New Zealand and against Bangladesh, we have comprehensively, like, we have won those. New Zealand, if it had continued, I don't know how that would have went, but with, up to the point that we were at, the way they were playing, like, these guys were in full control. 1 wicket down, they could have went the whole way if they wanted to. I was hoping for a Fakhar double century, dude. I was really hoping for that, and it would have came. It would have came for sure. Yeah, it would have came for sure.
Let me ask you guys something. If the game continues and there's no rain, do you guys think Pakistan wins?
300%.
I mean,
so when
think about it, right? How many?
Listen, if you're listening to the post game interviews between Fakhar and Babar, and even when you're watching the game, they're talking to each other and they're telling each other that, listen, there's nothing on the pitch. It's coming. How many? Like, look at Fakhar's striking. It was clean, right?
Yeah, but
like,
okay,
everything was middle of the bat.
Saying, right? This game is Fakhar was single-handedly winning us that game, right? And if you look at the way New Zealand was trying to bowl against him, they were literally waiting until he miscued one. They were like, they put everybody back and they were like, okay, how long is he going to continue this? How long is he going to hit everything out of the park and eventually he's going to miss one.
So and what if he didn't? Right? That's the other side. What if he didn't?
But I'm just to play devil's advocate, I'm just saying that 400 targets are very hard to chase, and even at 200 for one in 25 overs, you lose 1 wicket there. It's Pakistan. Anything could have happened.
But
I don't think you can say definitively that we were winning that game if it continues.
I have something to add.
Sure,
go ahead.
I think that I heard Fakhar in the post-match interview, one of the post-match videos that PCB posted, and he was just sitting with Babar, and the question arose about whether they would have chased it, and Fakhar was so supremely confident. He said that we had tremendous batsmen in the hut, and we would have definitely chased it, and I second that personally, because out of the 22 overs that were left after the first rain break, when they shortened the game and revised the target to 41 overs, and we had 342 to win. Out of those 23 overs, Saudi and Bolt had only 7 or 8 overs left. So when you look at that at that particular scheme of things, I think New Zealand would have been in tatters, honestly, with Sodhi, Santner, and possibly Rachin Ravindra bowling the remaining overs, and the form that Fakhar seemed to be in, and with Babar supporting him, the middle order had already gotten the platform that they needed to fire. Okay,
100%.
So Rizwan could have easily played that usual T20 innings that he does. Saud is terrific at playing ODI innings at a strike rate of 130 to 140. And if Fakhar, he has that muscle power that Fakhar Zaman possesses as well to hit those monstrous sixes. So once the platform was set by Babar and Fakhar, I think that had already taken off the pressure from the middle order batsmen. And I think we were all set to create history, to be very honest. And a double century from Fakhar Zaman was definitely on the cards.
And I want to add that, you're saying that Fakhar did everything he did, but are you telling me if Imam ul Haq was on the other end in a chase like this, where he's, tapping everything and going for singles and not,
Imam ul Haq के बारे में ऐसी बातें
यार दोनों
रवीश तुम्हें पेड़ मारने का मूव है
They're both different batsmen, apples and oranges,
but-
right?
but
It's
what
like
I'm saying
it's
is-
like comparing Chris Gale to
Yeah,
Rahul
you know,
Dravid,
you know
right?
why
Like,
they're different.
can't compare the two.
You know why they're different, Ramesh?
Imam
One is
wasn't
good
even
and
One's
playing the
good and
game,
the other
yeah.
isn't. But what I'm saying is that Babur was hitting sixes, he was hitting fours. He was also relieving the pressure on Fakhar to allow him to play his natural game. If we didn't
Yeah.
have someone like Babur at the other end who knows how to score and can do it at a comfortable pace, maybe Fakhar would have made that. At that point, he could have made one shot too many. He could have miscued one because he would
To
have
be
been like,
fair,
I need to do it myself.
Babar at one point I was saying that he needs to relieve a little bit of pressure. I think at one point he was like under 95 strike rate, but he, you know, that's what was a very short period of the game. He improved that, and then he was fine after that. So
Yeah.
you know, we're getting nitpicky here, but I
No,
think
you're getting nitpicky.
I am getting nitpicky. But, you know, I'm just looking at it in terms of like, you know, how
I
many
agree.
times have we seen 400 targets get chased? I know this was, you know, a great, like Arham mentioned, a good platform. You expect your guys to chase it, but you know, half the game done, anything could have happened. I think.
There's
Bro,
there's
but
another
this-
thing
this
to
what-
there's another thing to note on this pitch, and consistently in IPL, this is RCB's home ground, and they consistently there's scores of over 200 being chased on this ground. So even against our game in Australia, where they scored like 358, I believe, we were on track to chase that too. We would have probably chased it had we had maybe Babur, you know, if he did what he did, what he should have done, he didn't do. But yeah, same ground, we possibly could have chased it too. But yeah, it's a regular occurrence here where these big scores get chased down. And I agree with Arham. We could have chased it down, and I was super nervous while watching the game, but I had faith.
Dude, I was shaking when Fakhar was hitting those sixes. I was like, if this dude miscues one right now, this game is over. Like, even from a
Bro,
DLS
I wasn't
perspective.
shaking. I was screaming, sitting in my lounge and screaming the fuck out, to be very honest.
Yeah, I mean, यहाँ पे मैच होता है रात के 4 बजे हो रहा था. तो it's a
Yeah, it's a
my
different
family
story.
was sleeping.
यार देखिए, I have an example of that as well. हमारे साथ भी इस तरह होता है जब वेस्ट इंडीज में मैचेस होते हैं.
Yeah,
But I
that's true.
still remember when I was watching that. I think it was Jamaica, the last Test match of Misbah-ul Haq and Yunus Khan, and I was in O2 at that time. Okay, so I had a sociology book in my hand, and I was preparing for my midterm. It was the next morning. So I was the minute Yasser Shah bowled Shannon Gabriel. I think it was Shannon Gabriel or another
it
number
was.
11. But the minute Yasser Shah bowled him, I was jumping with the book in my hand, and I was genuinely screaming. Thank God that my parents didn't wake up, but
Yeah.
I was living the moment, man. I don't care if anyone wakes up, to be very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when you have a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old, when they wake up, it takes a bit of time to put them back to sleep.
Yeah. Yo, listen, man, it's all good. They can take it once in a while, you know.
Yeah. They can. Yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm gonna wake him up next time.
Yeah, man. He needs
But,
to
you know,
know.
I just going back to Arham's point a little bit. It was a weird feeling as a fan. It was a weird, like, when we were like 200 for 25.3 overs or whatever it was. It was weird because I like from a qualification scenario perspective, I was like, please keep raining. I don't want this game to go on anymore. We're ahead of the DLS. Just want the win, right? But from another point, I was like, man, wouldn't it be fucking amazing if we can chase 402 and actually, you know, the game finishes and it's a record-breaking chase, right? That would have been something to see. Yeah, like you said, you know, Fakhar gets to 200 in a World Cup. That would be an amazing, like a match to remember, right? But yeah, 100%. As a fan, I think.
And think about it, right? Halfway mark, they're at 200 and what were they at? 200, 201. Halfway mark, you know, you're at 200. You're chasing 402. You've set the platform for yourself, right? The batting pitch is so friendly. You know, Dew might be coming into play. Everything is set for you for Chacha to come in and just destroy it, you know, just to kill it.
That's all you want.
Yo, man, I would have loved to see him bat on this, man. He would have killed it. And then he would have earned his biryani, bro. He would have earned his biryani.
Oh, dude, I want to put that clip in the beginning of the show because that was a really funny video.
Do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
You should have the interaction first of.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he never. Yeah, I don't know if he said anything in the later one.
Well, he tweeted recently. He's like,
Fakhar
Fakhar ke liye biryani.
But did you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it in a video?
Biryaniyon ki digging lao.
Yo, my goal is to have Chacha on this show, man.
Imam also tweeted for him, by the way.
Imam? For who?
Yeah,
Fakhar?
I think he said something like Fakhar Pakistan or some नहीं कोई कहना तो फौजी आया था इस तरह करके उसने बड़ी ड्रामेटिक से ट्वीट की है. Obviously he supports Fakhar in his success and इमाम को जो criticize करते हैं लोग I think उसको भी थोड़ा unjust हो जाते हैं. He was definitely not a Pirchi. I saw his stats.
Yes.
Yeah, Imam. Okay,
No,
I don't
have
think that.
support.
I don't think he's.
I have support.
Even if he was a Pirchi, ठीक है, Zain bhai, even if he was a Pirchi, ठीक है, he scored 100 on his ODI debut. His stats have been terrific. His average has been lurking around that 50
I
mark.
like
सही है.
Imam.
The
Yeah.
the reason that our batting has become such a power weight, there are three people responsible for it: Babar Azam, Fakhar Zaman, and Imamul Haq. So you can't deny that just
I'm
because
with you.
a better opener
Oh,
has
nahi, yeah.
arrived.
No. I think we all agree that Imam
I
is the-
agree.
We
I
talked about it
agree.
last
Imam,
time too.
Before the World Cup, everybody used to shit on Imam. His strike rate's not high. I was like, he is stellar at one end. You know, he does what he needs to do. He rotates the strike and he lets Fakhar do his thing. But he never adjusted during the World Cup. He never changed the way he played. He never understood the situation. He just kept playing the same way. He didn't. His cricketing IQ is not that high because his
But
match awareness
sometimes the
isn't that high.
potential of a particular batsman can be limited. You cannot blame them for not trying. I personally, when I play cricket, I also have some limitations. I can't just go in there and whack the ball out of the park on every ball. Every
Right.
player has their own strengths, and we can't expect everybody to be like a Fakhar Zaman, you know. And
No,
we
of
can't
course
expect
not.
everyone to be like a Virat Kohli either. So
100%.
everybody just plays
Yeah,
according to their
then
strengths.
eat that. Okay?
No, but
eat
but
that.
that's the difference, right? Arham, and no disrespect intended, but that's why he's an international, and we're sitting here fucking talking about it,
Yeah.
right? That's why because
Fakhar Zaman,
he has
Imam
the
ul Haq
ability
kya galtiyan kar raha hai?
to fix himself. But I mean, you know, and I'm a heavy Fakhar fan, and we know Mickey Arthur in the beginning of the World Cup, he said Fakhar is one performance away from getting back into form, and I was 100% with it. But they just dropped him for too long, which is okay. You know, we need to have our backs against the wall. We're still, you know, 1992 corner Tigers mentality.
Yeah,
It's never
I am
gonna go
so
away. It's
sick
who
of
we
this
are.
1992 bull. Can
Corner
you please
Tigers.
get over this? I'm
Corner
so done with it.
Tigers.
Fuck that shit, man. I'm done
know.
with it.
I'm getting a shirt that
Like-
says Corner Tigers. Fuck
Bro,
you.
Crick Info, I think the Crick Info has tried to break the jinx and they made a 1999 comparison. I think we sort of equaled a record with the 194 not out partnership. There was a 194 not out stand in 1999 World Cup as well, and that too against New Zealand. So I got worried, man. They started to compare with 99, and even though I wasn't born then, I still know what a horrendous final that was.
Wait, you weren't born in '99?
No, bro, 2001
God.
Gen Z.
Oh my god, this
dude.
you know, I didn't know you were this young, man. I think we need
Yo,
to cut
kick
this
him off
short
the
then.
pod, bro.
We're like
Yo,
sweating.
he's probably telling his friends, yo, मैं कोई uncles के साथ podcast कर रहा हूँ.
30 साल के लौंडे हैं.
He's like,
Basically,
no wonder he's like 15
Well, I
years
had a
old when
31
that
year
test
old on
match
my
happened.
podcast. His name was also Arham. I have been constantly doing episodes with Hassan Qureshi. Maybe you know him. He tweets regularly. So yeah, I think as long as everybody likes cricket, and I like to term everybody who likes cricket as the cricketaholics, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah, man, that's good. Anyway, okay, so but on one last word on Imam, Ramiz, we're not like I think we all like Imam. We were just saying in this World Cup,
Yeah.
Fakhar, you know, you gotta get him minutes, and you know, I'll say that for Fakhar.
Man, let's
too.
not talk about Fakhar like that because he very, very well deservedly he got dropped.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
I
world
agree.
was shitting. Hold on, the entire
I
world
think
was
that
shitting on him the whole
dropping
time.
him was the completion of a process that rejuvenated him. That
But
is
it
how I
brought,
like to see it.
it brought Abdullah Shafiq in, right? And Abdullah Shafiq has been playing so well. So now Abdullah Shafiq is in because Fakhar got dropped. Imam got dropped and Fakhar is in. So who is the weakest link? Ramiz, I want to hear it from you.
I don't think there's a weak link. It depends. It depends game to game.
That's
right?
not
Rameez,
like you can't say
Rameez,
that they're.
there
Okay,
has to
you
be
were
a
saying
way.
you would have
if you
Imam
guys-
in for Fakhar right now.
If you, I look,
Would you have Imam in for
this
Abdullah
is look.
Shafiq?
This is hindsight. Okay, like I was saying, you guys didn't let me finish.
We're not talking hindsight,
no,
though.
no,
We're
no.
not talking hindsight.
Of course, you are talking
We're talking
hindsight.
right
If
now.
No, we're
if
talking
Fakhar got
right
out-
now. Because think
if
about
Fakhar
it, right?
got out if Fakhar got out for 3 runs yesterday, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? So what
But
I'm
he
trying to-
didn't, right? He
I
scored
know,
128.
Exactly.
And
So
he
we
was
are talking
middling
hindsight.
the
So we
ball.
are talking hindsight. So we are talking hindsight.
I'd
What
like
I'm
to
trying to get
settle the
at.
debate. I'll just
Go ahead.
want to ask one question. Simon
Yeah.
Yu is knocking on the doors. Who do you think he'll replace in the 15?
He should replace Fakhar Zaman.
What the fuck, bro?
Of course. How do you? Okay, please. Okay, please tell me how it makes sense to keep Fakhar Zaman in the team right now. Right now for the next 3 games, yes, you keep him. After the World Cup, you drop him and you move on from him. He's 33 years old right now.
CT25.
Hold on.
CT25.
He's
CT25.
He's 33 years old, bro. Come
He's
on,
gonna be
we need to
35.
start.
Look, bro,
No.
No,
I
I
think.
defended Imam. Rameez, I defended Imam and I placed all the valid points that were there to defend him. But when Saim Ayub comes in, he definitely comes in for Imam because Fakhar has been consistent for you as well. He gives off the impression that
What
he is not
consistency
consistent.
this year?
No,
This
listen,
year,
listen,
He's
listen,
averaging
guys.
47. He only
This-
there was this gap right at start of the World Cup. Before that, he scored 3 consecutive centuries earlier in the year against New Zealand.
earlier in the year,
He was
and then you
coming
went
off a
11.
very good flow.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah,
went
but
11
Rameez,
games
you
without
said the
going
same
over
thing about
35
Baba,
runs.
right? You were saying that in the last 6 innings he hasn't performed, and so I put the blame on him for that Australia. And I disagree
Babar
with you.
and Fakhar are not in the same bracket, man. Babar's way ahead of
No,
Fakhar
but that's
Zaman
what you were
in
saying.
terms
The
of
point,
consistency.
I
the point
agree
was
with
the
that.
same, right?
No, but
Why?
what I'm talking about is consistency, right? Fakhar Zaman went 11 games without scoring over 35.
And now he
this
got
year.
dropped. Now he
Bhai,
got
let me
dropped. and
talk,
he's
man.
back.
Let me-
Sorry, man.
Let me
Sorry.
talk, man. What I'm saying, he went 11 games without going over 35 runs, right? And he well deservedly got dropped. Before that, yes, he scored that 180 against New Zealand in Pindi, which is again flat tracks where anyone can score runs. I'm not saying Imam would have done the same thing. He's not going to score at the same pace as Fakhar. He's probably not going to score that kind of runs. But you have to look at a bigger picture. Fakhar Zaman hasn't done much for Pakistan consistently. Consistently is the key. We had Shahid Afridi who did wonders for Pakistan, but
Yeah.
again, the biggest
Great.
gripe we had with Shahid Afridi was that he wasn't consistent, right? And that's the same thing with Fakhar Zaman. He's not consistent enough, and he's 33. We were talking about Imad Wasim that we need to look at the future. He's 34 years old. एक साल का फर्क इतना ज़्यादा कोई फर्क नहीं है. If you're looking at the next World Cup, Imam is still going to be 32, 33 at that time.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be around with the squad at that time, but Fakhar is going to be 37 at that time.
So
Right,
hold
so-
on.
37 is a reasonable age to play the World Cups.
In Pakistan, yes, but nowhere else.
No, everywhere.
hold on,
Viraj
who
is
has
turned
the
to
next-
35.
Listen.
He's
Viraj
very
just turned
forward.
35. And I can
Exactly.
assure you that he is playing that World Cup 4 years from now, age 39. I can assure you Virat
He's
Kohli
not
will
gonna-
play that 2027 World Cup.
He's
So
not
this is
gonna
a
play
bet.
that
You
World
heard it
Cup.
here first. We
He's
have
not
Yeah,
gonna play that World Cup.
Okay, listen,
We'll
first
catch
of
up
all-
with that 4 years from now.
Champions Trophy 2025 is taking place, like I said, in about 14 months. So the next ODI tournament is in 14 months. Fakhar will play that. Whether he plays the 2027 World Cup, I don't know. I don't think he will. I think you're right. He may be too old. And if he goes through another string of low scores, then he's out because his only way of showing his skill is through T20s after that. And in T20s, he's going to play number 3, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, it's too early for Saim Ayub to come in. Way too early. I want him to go through the system how he should. Play
Yeah,
his
I agree.
domestic list A games, right? Like how many
Yep,
players? Like
yep.
Abdullah Shafiq, he is a good player. He's played a lot of Test cricket. He's played a lot of T20 cricket. He's played well, but Saim
Yeah.
Ayub, they gave him a chance to play ODIs and T20s internationally against Afghanistan, and he failed. So I think Saim Ayub, and again, that was a year ago. He has matured a lot. He's done really
Yeah.
well. And everybody knows that the local T20 tournaments, like the domestic tournaments all around the world, they don't give you the same vibe. Like, LPL Bobber was failing in Lanka Premier League. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit about it, right? And he came
Yeah.
in, he came into the warm-up matches, he smacked it around, he did well. Asia Cup, he didn't do that well, but could have done better. But I think that age-wise, if Imam continues to perform consistently, then yeah, he should be in the team in 2027. We don't know how many people are going to come in. We don't know what the talent is. We have to wait for Hottest to tell us all of that. But one thing I do want to say is, you cannot say that Fakhar Zaman is not consistent. He is not a Shahid Afridi. That is insane.
I agree with that.
That is an insane way to compare him, because Shahid Afridi was literally hit like Asif Ali is a Shahid Afridi.
Can I summarize the Shahid Afridi and Fakhar Zaman comparison in a line?
Sorry, guys. Before we...
1 second.
Yeah.
1 second.
Sure.
Okay, Ramiz, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna bring up stats of Imam and Fakhar from 2022, and show you guys who's been more consistent. Fakhar played 9 games last year, and he scored 303 runs at an average of 33.66, and his strike rate was 86. Okay. Imam, on the other hand, played 8 games. He scored 505 runs. His average was 72, and his strike rate was 94. He was 8 runs for every 100 balls higher than Fakhar Zaman. This year, Fakhar Zaman is averaging 53.93, but obviously we can give a huge credit of that to the last 2 games, where he scored 180.
And New Zealand earlier in the year, right?
Yeah, he scored the 180 earlier in the year. Exactly. So my concern is I'm not saying Fakhar or Imam, which one's better. I'm talking about the bigger picture, right? Agar koi young bande ko aap lana cha rahe ho, you're going to obviously replace an older guy with him, right? Who's more towards his end of the career as opposed to the other guy.
I mean,
right?
The way I like looking at it, sorry, I want to say one thing. The way I like looking at it, I don't want to see averages. I want to see scores, and I want to see, like, did they win the match? That's what I want to see. Because if Imam is scoring hundreds all fucking day at 80% strike, or even 90% strike rate, but we're not winning, who fucking cares, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Pattern, right? I think impact of the performance matters.
Yeah,
too.
That's a big deal. And Fakhar is an impact player, right? He is an impact player. Yeah. We lost the Australia semifinal World Cup 2021, but he's the one that came in and smacked it around and got us to a respectable score, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've been talking about Fakhar and Imam for like 40 minutes now. I think we need to... the only thing I want to say about Fakhar, the whole Fakhar dropping thing, and everybody is all of a sudden saying that, hey, I've been saying we should have been playing Fakhar this whole time, and that's not true. We all agreed that Fakhar should have been dropped. That helped him. He came back stronger. He played a good innings. Mm-hmm. But anybody who's pretending that they wanted Fakhar to never be dropped, stop it. We were all shitting on him equally, and I'm seeing tweets on Twitter. Everybody's like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Please continue.
I was just gonna say, I'm seeing a lot of tweets from people going like, we need to ask questions about this selection and why Fakhar was dropped in the first place. It's like, stop it, man. This guy, if he kept playing and kept failing, you would have been singing the opposite tune, right? So
I agree. But just to put an end to this debate, I just need to point out 2 points. Before we move forward to another topic, when we talk about Fakhar Zaman and Shahid Afridi in the same sentence, that is, disrespect, I would say, using a softer word for the matter. But Fakhar Zaman averages over 47 in ODIs, right? And Shahid Afridi is, I don't know, below 20 or what? And
He's
the
like
second
23.
point that I wanted to make...
I was comparing his consistency, by the way, not the way they...
Oh, yeah, but Ramiz, you're bringing up stats for Imam, but then you cannot ignore the stats for Shahid Afridi, right?
Yeah,
but I was comparing the consistency. I wasn't comparing their stats.
But he's talking... No, I'm okay with Ramiz bringing that up because he's talking 2 openers, right?
Yeah, Fakhar Zaman averages 47 as of right now, including yesterday's game in ODI cricket, right? And besides Rohit Sharma, Fakhar is the only opener in ODI history to score at an average of 45 plus while striking at 90 plus. He also scores a 50 or higher in every third innings. So if his 50 scoring rate is being if he is scoring 50s in every third innings, that just encompasses how consistent he is. That is all I wanted to add to this.
Thank you, Arham.
Sorry,
TLDR,
sorry.
Imam ul Haq sucks, and Fakhar Zaman is the best ever.
Yo,
so
listen,
that's
man.
the conclusion we've
So-
come to.
Don't disrespect the stakeholders, okay? Ramiz, he doesn't suck.
Okay,
No,
Ramiz,
he
you can get
doesn't
one
suck.
last
He
word
doesn't
in.
suck.
Go ahead. Ramiz,
Okay,
go ahead.
so I wanted to add two, but I'll just add one. Zain, you asked to see the results of the games from last year. Pakistan won 7 out of the 8 games were from the stats that I showed you guys earlier. Other
Guys,
than
listen,
that,
they're both good. They're both good.
sorry. Just give me one sec, because Arham just mentioned he scores 50 plus every third game. So in 81 games, he has 27 50 plus scores, and Imam has 29 in 72 games. So they're not very far apart in terms of their numbers. They're very similar. I think the upper hand Fakhar gets a little bit is on the strike rate, and sometimes impact he has in one game out of maybe like 10 games. So I'll give that give that to you guys.
Okay, that's it. Done. It's done now.
Yeah, I'm
Drop
done.
Abdullah
I'm from my
Shafiq.
side.
That's what I'm
Okay.
seeing from all this is drop
Yeah.
Abdullah
Just
Shafiq.
so
Done.
we can all be happy, drop
Yeah.
the other good opener and
Yeah.
play both of these guys. I just want
Yeah.
to say one thing. Maybe Arham can get his last word in too before we. But I just wanted to say that you're saying that Fakhar is like I don't know, like what
He's inconsistent, is what I'm saying.
He has been inconsistent in this World Cup. Yes, I agree.
He's been
but-
inconsistent forever since he came to Pakistan, man. Like he
No,
scores
I
the
don't-
big
I don't
scores. He
think that's-
scores. He scores
I
the
don't think that's
150
true.
plus 200
He is
scores,
a
and
big
then
match
his
player.
he is. But how many big matches has he had?
Yeah. Okay, let's
yeah,
drop
but how
this.
many?
We
Okay,
know
yeah.
what-
I think we need to move on.
because we know. Listen, at the end of the day, when I ask you guys, who do you want to play in the England game? If we're going to treat it like if it's, let's say Sri Lanka and New Zealand gets washed out. This is a quarterfinal game now, essentially, right? Between England.
Let's do
and
that.
Pakistan,
Who do you guys want
right?
to play?
Who are you going
I
to
know
have for
how-
your
I
opener?
know who-
Oh, Fakhar,
Fakhar Zaman
100%
all
Fakhar.
day and Abdullah
100%
Shafiq.
Fakhar
That's
Zaman.
it, right?
100%.
So what
Fakhar
are we
Zaman.
arguing about? What's the argument?
No, the question
We're
was.
talking
the question,
fucking 2027 World Cup, man. Where
no,
are you
the
right
question.
now?
The question was, अगर साइम अयूब अभी आ रहा है तो किसको drop करोगे, right? For the
नहीं
long
क्वेश्चन
run.
वो तो
That
उससे
was the
पहले भी हम
question.
आर्ग्यू कर रहे थे कि even last episode Rami said, right, he's like Fakhar is probably more likely to fail.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
So I want to say, subhanallah, the batting was fantastic. Subhanallah,
Yes,
the batting
yes.
was amazing. But now I have a
Mashallah.
question. I have a question for you guys. Okay, what do we do about Haris Rauf? He's not the player you want to drop. But
Hold on. Before we get to Haris Rauf, in general, the bowling, we can all agree it was trash, right?
Yeah.
It was. I know the pitch was what it was, a dry pitch. We played in Bangalore before too, got smacked around. You expect to get, I think Babar, I think, would have hoped for under 350, around 350 maybe, and he would have been confident chasing that, like we said. But bowling, like, this team is too reliant on Shaheen Afridi taking 2 wickets in the first spell. If that doesn't happen, they have no other plan. I don't know. They rely on that so much that it's just become a problem where, like, if that doesn't happen, you don't know what you're gonna do. Where are you gonna get wickets?
And you see it in their body language, right? Like you see it when Shaheen isn't taking wickets. You see them all like kind of getting upset about it.
Yeah,
which is stupid, right? Like that's so stupid.
I think I'll mention that a lot of people had been calling to play 4 pacers. They did that, and that didn't work either. Our only spinners were Ifti and Salman, and that
Bro,
didn't help.
Muhammad
Arham, go ahead.
Wasim bowled well, dude. Muhammad Wasim bowled
Mohammad
well.
Wasim, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just talking about the bowling overall. Mohammad Wasim was the only bright spot in that bowling lineup. What was he, like 3 for 60, right? In 10 overs.
So let me ask you, what did he do different than Shaheen Afridi and Haris Rauf?
I thought his length was better than the rest. I thought his line was more in check. These guys were bowling down the legs. They would bowl like 2 good deliveries, and they would bowl down the leg side, bowl a really short or a really or really full, and then get smacked around for a boundary. There was just no consistency, and Shaheen is included in that. He didn't bowl well. But go ahead. I think Arham had your hand up, right?
Yeah, I think our problems are primarily boiling down to the fact that we lost Naseem Shah. And then when the debate arose about drafting a replacement, I personally was a little in favor of including Fahim Ashraf instead and Hassan Ali to be the backup fast bowler. Now, I'm not talking about Fahim Ashraf, the all-rounder, right? I I would even bat him at 10. I would bat him at below Shaheen, right? But the thing is that when you are replacing Naseem Shah, right? How close? What is the biggest gap that you have gotten after Naseem Shah's injury? That is the new ball bowling and the new ball control that he offers, right? And Fahim Ashraf, we had another option in including Arshad Iqbal, but obviously he's too raw to include. So Fahim Ashraf was someone who could have offered the same control with the new ball, and he might not have even have to, he wouldn't have even have to ball at the deck, to be very honest. We had Haris Rauf already. Of course, he is getting plundered and all, but Wasim, Haris, and even Hassan to a certain extent, and Zaman that we have included in the 18 that I was strictly against, to be very honest. Let's hope that none of our fast bowlers get injured, but all of them have their strengths, have similar strengths. That is to bowl in the middle overs and bowl at the death. ठीक है जिसकी वजह से हमारे जो शुरू के ओवर्स हैं उसमें हमें इशू आ रहा है अब शाहीन आता है ठीक है हसन अली वी आर कंसिस्टेंटली सेइंग व्हाई आर वी bowling Haris Rauf in the power play but what options does Babar have कितनी दफा इफ्तिखार को कराया है मतलब इफ्तिखार के
Yeah.
अलावा और कहाँ जाए eventually
Yeah,
he
I'll
does have
just
to go to Haris Rauf.
on the point of that's a really good point. I think Naseem, what he provides with a new ball, nobody's able to fill that role, right? But I think what they thought with picking Hassan Ali over somebody like Fahim Ashram was Hassan Ali has bowled with the new ball, both in red ball cricket
Yeah,
and white ball cricket.
yeah,
So I think, and you pick maybe a guy who has experience doing that over somebody like Fahim. I think they wouldn't look at Fahim Ashraf as a purely as a bowling option.
yeah.
They would want to include him instead of like Nawaz maybe
True.
or somebody like that.
Mhm.
So that's the thinking I think they have behind it. But that we talk about out of the box thinking a lot on Pakistan cricket, right? And that would be an out of the box solution. So yeah, I would be, that I don't know if I would be
I
for
think
or against it, but at least it's
I
something
think
different.
dropping the three spinners was in fact out of the box, and it was indeed I could say embarrassing for all those three spinners. कि
Yeah,
ये टाइम आ गया कि हमें उन तीनों को we had to drop them क्योंकि they weren't just up to the mark and we had to play
yeah,
4 pacers and go with 2 part-timers on a pitch that is primarily that should be benefiting the spinners, right? So that
yeah,
is really embarrassing for the three of them to be honest. I know Shadab is out
yeah.
or due to a concussion, but he wasn't bowling that well either.
Well, didn't you hear he was faking that injury, according to Omar Gul?
Nah,
That's if you believe anything these fuckers say on TV,
Yo, why are you talking about Fakhar again, bro?
Ramiz के कान खड़े हो गए ना फखर
Yeah. He's like, he had a hand. Yo,
No, we need to have a
imagine
separate
that.
episode for Imam versus Fakhar.
Yeah. Maybe we'll set up a debate, and well, I mean, Ramiz is outnumbered because I think we all agree that Fakhar is.
No, so
Okay,
my question,
I don't want to get into that.
my
again.
question is now at this point now. So, next game's in Kolkata,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eden Gardens.
Eden Gardens, right? Yeah.
Eden Gardens. Semi-final potentially, inshallah, if we make it, is in Eden Gardens, and then final is in Ahmedabad, right? Out of these three, like, I don't see spin coming back.
Well, I
we'll
mean,
high
to
spin,
bring-
Like,
I think
Nico,
we'll have to bring spin back.
for
like,
Eden
Babar
Gardens or
gets
for
so much-
Ahmedabad, or for it doesn't matter.
I think we're looking too far ahead. I think like the bowling.
but
I
we
think we
have
need to
to. I
maybe
wanna
talk
know
about
what
the
the
bowling
squads are
a little
gonna
bit
look
more.
like.
Sorry.
I want to know what the squads are going to look like because from the sounds of it, the way that Arham, for example, is explaining this about the spinners, like none of them are up to the mark and whatnot. I feel like this squad is good. If Fakhar is a great bowler, and same with
But yeah. I just
I think I just want the same again.
same 11. Yeah, and that would be a good idea. I think you back your fastball. The spinners are so bad right now that regardless of how bad the bowling was in this game, that's the thing, right? People are like shitting on Babar, like bad captaincy. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Look at his bowlers. Like,
Yeah.
nobody is bowling
And we
well,
have
right?
another unexplored option in South Shakil. He can bowl in handy left arm off spin.
He's a good
So
option.
I think he may be used as
I'm
well.
happy with the
So,
squad we have now, and this is what I
yeah,
wanted.
me too.
Yeah, I think with somebody like Salman in there, he didn't get to bat again, बेचारे की batting ही नहीं आ रही, लेकिन somebody like him replacing like instead of Nawaz, I
Solidifies our
shat
batting.
on, yeah, I shat on Nawaz quite a bit in the last episode, and yeah, I think completing your spin overs with Ifti is like a Swiss Army knife, man. This guy can do everything. He
Here,
bats at six.
You should get player of the
in the
tournament.
games that Iftikhar and Shadab and Nawaz play together, Iftikhar's bowling stats were often similar to Shadab and Nawaz or better. So I think he is good to be our bowler, our fifth bowler who can bowl in 7 or 8 overs, and maybe you chip in with Salman bowling 2 or 3, or maybe
Yep.
Saud bowling, or even Fakhar
Yep.
Zaman. He has bowled some left arm spin as well. So I think these two can give you
Yeah.
the 2 overs what you need, and after that, we are sorted. Hassan, Wasim, and all of them are good to go. And Haris, I know Haris hasn't been firing like he is supposed to, but I think he is too good of a name to drop at this particular point in the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
the
think so.
only
Let's do our squads, right? Sorry, Ramesh, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was saying I think the only issue we have with 4 pacers is the over rate, right? Like even this last game, the last 3 overs, we bowled with an extra
Yeah.
fielder in the circle. So it's fine if we go for four pacers, but we have to speed up our bowling rate significantly, because 3
Yeah.
overs is a lot for having one fielder inside the circle.
Yeah.
It was fine because we were bowling first, but if we were defending a total, that extra fielder would
True.
definitely come to haunt us
Yeah,
potentially.
that's it. That's a very good point actually, because that does make a difference, and you need to. Yeah, if you have 2 spinners bowling in tandem in the middle, that really speeds up your over rate and stuff like that, right? I just anything else you guys wanna like bowl? Yeah, I don't know. Bowling, I it worries me, man. I don't. I know Babar likes to chase. I know we are confident with our batting, chasing anything down. I guess I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if you know if it's just me, but I'm not as confident as maybe you guys are, or even Babar is us chasing big totals
I'm
down.
confident in chasing.
I think anything
I
over
think
350 becomes very difficult, regardless of how confident you are, regardless of conditions, how good the pitch is. Just scoreboard
that is
pressure, I
what I'm
think.
basically surprised with. How could they not have taken the mental pressure of scoring 400 runs? Well,
Yeah.
that could crumble anyone on the day. Anyone.
Yeah.
400 runs. I was fine with the 390 score. I had hopes till the target was lurking around 390, 395. But once you cross the 400 mark, that automatically impacts you psychologically, right? So I think again, massive from Fakhar Zaman. I think this was once in a lifetime, once in a decade sort of a performance that he has given.
Don't say that, dude. We have 3 matches left.
it's-
Inshallah, he needs to continue
Just
this way.
proved Ramiz's point a little bit there. Once in a
Yeah,
decade
man.
performance
Yeah,
from Fakhar.
no, man,
We are
that's
saying
BS.
he's consistent.
Yeah, that's
And
BS.
I'm
He's
saying
not
that
consistent,
you
man. No one
don't
can
get
tell
to
me he's
chase
consistent.
400 every day, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
his
Forget
centuries will definitely, his
yeah.
centuries will definitely come, but you don't get the opportunity to chase 400 every day. That's definitely once in 5 years, you
Well,
would say,
The
twice a decade.
he never got to finish it, so inshallah he gets to do a double century or something in the next couple games.
So you are basically
inshallah.
wishing our bowling to do worse again.
No, we can bat first and
Maybe we
score
can bat
that well.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it in
Yeah.
the first inning.
Maybe अगर 500 चेस करेंगे तो शायद वो 300 कर ले. Who knows, right?
Yo, squads for England game?
Take
Is
it a
that what
step
you're saying,
further.
Usman?
Huh?
Are you saying squads for England game?
Yeah, let's do our starting 11s for the England game. Just tell me who you guys want to drop, who you guys want to bring in. If it's the
I want to
same,
hear
then we know
Ramiz
that
go
too.
first. I want to hear
Yeah.
Ramiz.
He wants 11 Imam ul-Haq.
Controversy अच्छी लगती है ना तुम्हें? No, I'll pick the same. There would be one thing I would probably consult with my team if I was there is, do we keep Haris Rauf in, or we bring in a spinner instead of Haris Rauf? Because not a very relevant stat, I guess, but he's been smacked for the most number of sixes in a World Cup so far, and it was at 19, I believe.
Did you guys see
but
that?
I don't know
Sorry,
if that's
I
very
just wanna
important.
say,
though,
did you guys see that?
Shaheen has been spanked for the most number of fours, and Haris is
wow.
closely climbing up that chart as well
really,
Yeah.
Haris दोनों top करना चाह रहा
in this particular
The-
World Cup.
The
Make his
record
hair
that was
proud,
made,
right?
right? The most amount of runs by I think it was the most amount of runs by a Pakistani bowler in a World Cup game, and it went to Haris Rauf when he gave away 85, and then
Yeah,
Shaheen
and
broke
then
it like
Shaheen
10 minutes later with 90 runs. It's like
Yeah.
2 records in one game. Great stuff. Great bowling. Awesome.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's the only thing that I would probably think over. Should we bring in a spinner for
Yeah.
Haris Rauf? That's other than that, I would keep the other 10 players would
No
stay the
Imam?
same for me. No Imam. Right now, there's no way Imam. There's
Pace
no
is
way
big,
Imam comes
dog.
in right now. I was
Okay.
talking about like the future, longer picture.
Yeah,
Right
yeah, I
now,
understand.
Fakhar's taking the spot. He stays.
Arham, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping the same 11. I think since the match is going to be at the Eden Gardens, so we don't need any slow spinners that essentially are not spinning the ball that they are basically supposed to do. So I would basically keep the four fast bowlers and hope for some reverse swing at the end and back the boys to chase mammoth targets once again.
Zen.
So my only thing is that I would do the same thing that Ramiz is saying, but what I would want to do is I would bring in an extra batsman. So if we dropped Haris Rauf, then I would want to bring in maybe Nawaz or Shadab just for batting. I wouldn't want to give them the ball, but in all honesty,
What
like
the fuck?
you know,
what are you?
I just want
If
I
you're
just want
bringing
them for
one of those
batting.
guys in, who the fuck?
No,
You're not
because I
going to
want
bowl them.
Iftikhar, Agha Salman, and Saud Shakil to share the overs. Share 20 overs, dude.
This guy's
That's
bringing
my-
Shadab as a batsman.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Because there's
that's,
nobody
No, in
else
fact,
left.
I think
There's nobody else left, right?
it's
There's
not a
nobody
bad
else left.
idea if you bowl Shadab as second fiddle to Iftikhar. Like Iftikhar bowls 7, and Shadab maybe bowls 5 overs, and maybe Salman and maybe the three of them bowl 7 or 6 overs, right? And
And you
Shadab
could
could be a good in.
Shadab or I think Shadab's batting is better than Nawaz because that's all I'm looking at. But if you
Yeah,
need
and I think
a
since we
couple
are
of
getting
tight
spanked
overs,
all over in any case, like Shaheen is getting spanked for 90, and
yeah, I'd
the other
Haris Rauf is
bowlers are
getting spanked
getting
for 85.
Haris Rauf
So it's
is
like
getting spanked all over the park as well. So might as well, मतलब कितना ही कोई हो जाएगा, and they will go at 10
exactly.
over 10 runs and over the max. So I think that's
Yeah.
an interesting idea, something that could be done. You never know.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that we need. I would want to make my batting order, longer.
Yeah.
And if a combination is correct, a new wicket like a wicket fall, somebody comes in that Nawaz can maybe trap them a little bit, keep them tight, keep them
Yeah.
light, have some
And
good overs. Then we do that.
I think
I don't know.
that long batting always saved us against the Netherlands as well. We keep forgetting how close we were to losing to Netherlands, but I think Shadab and Nawaz did play a good role in developing that later partnership at the end, which enabled us to defeat Netherlands comprehensively.
Arham, that was like 2 weeks ago. We don't care about that. so
Yeah.
much. We're over the. हम उनको जूते मार रहे हैं अभी बस.
Yeah. No, I feel like we need to have at least
that's
four.
how we are, right, Pakistanis?
I feel like we need to have at least 4 specialist bowlers in the lineup, and then the last 10 can be split over. So if you replace Haris Rauf and bring in Shadab and not give him bowling, then you have how many bowlers you have? You have 3 pacers, and you don't have a special spinner that you're giving the ball to. But again, you could give that
No,
to
you would
Ifti, right?
obviously give
Ifti would get
Shadab
10
5 to
overs.
6 overs.
No matter what,
Yeah.
Ifti would get 10 overs, right? Because we're
Yeah, then
literally
you're playing
talking
Ifti as
about
a
him
full-time
it's-
option, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we
I
have
think
our
Ifti
4
would bowl
bowlers.
10, Shadab would bowl 7, and maybe Aga would bowl 2 or 3 in this particular
So
case.
this is the
And that-
problem of bringing in someone like Shadab because you keep thinking about him as a bowling all-rounder. I'm
Do
saying
you
he comes
really
in as
want
a
to give
batsman.
Aga
You give
Salman 10
more-
overs? Are you kidding me?
No, I would give him. I'd give Saud Shakil something. I'd give Aga Salman.
Yeah, Zed,
Bro,
this
these
is
guys
the
haven't. These guys
same
haven't.
bullshit
These
we
guys.
keep going through.
No,
Zed,
these
you're
guys
telling
haven't
me you
bowled.
said it's a virtual quarterfinal, assuming that that other game gets rained out. You want to give South Shakil overs in this quarterfinal game now, and what if he fails? Then you're gonna be that's
Listen,
what I'm saying,
listen,
right?
The
Also,
thing about
Zed-
bowling, just relax for 1 second, okay? You're getting too hype up here.
I'm getting
The
hyped
thing
up.
about bowling is you can test and try for a couple of overs, right? It's not like if I said I'm giving him 10, I'm giving him 10 now, right? But with a batsman, it's different. They come in, they fail. That's it. It's done, right?
Yeah, you
So
can do trial and error though, but like if you're playing with one less bowler, then you how many
there's two
options do you have?
problems.
Because
Exactly the
10,
same
10
thing
overs
that you
becomes
just
a
said.
lot when you're trying to
But
cover
when
up for a
if you want to
full-time
play with
bowler.
four, if you want to play with four fast bowlers, and you're talking about, you know, the fact that they had to have four fielders outside of the, or
No, I think
in the ring or whatever, for whatever the rule is, um you know, that gives them the option for more runs. So not only are these bowlers leaking runs, they're also allowing for more runs to be scored because of that. So even if one
but
bowler like gets hit for 80 runs, essentially it could be over 100 runs that they're leaking because of these rules, right?
yeah, but
no, but
also
that's a
keep in mind
possibility
that
that can be
Salman,
avoided now. With
yeah,
proactive captaincy and proactive bowling run, with the bowlers
There's also a lot
looking
of
through their
thinking
roles
going on,
quickly.
right? Because they're going for so many runs, they're getting in a huddle after like every over and trying to
Yeah,
figure out what the hell to do, right?
yeah. The other thing with
But
the Salman point is that he played the last two games first, and he's only bowled 2 overs for us. So I personally don't think the management or the captain looks at him as a bowling option for the upcoming games
yeah,
yeah,
either.
and rightfully so. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying that, you know, if you look at the bigger picture, the bowling we're trying to figure out a solution for a bowling unit that's bowling really badly right now, at least in the last game, right?
And that's why you
And
don't think
I
outside the
don't
what was
box.
your opinion?
no you that is thinking outside the box, but I'm just saying like if that doesn't work, it looks even worse than playing the current squad and then getting smacked for another 400.
Yeah, I
Then you
definitely
think
don't
then,
agree
then,
with
Yeah,
then all the media, all the attention is going to be like, hey, why would you play four bowlers only when you know
yeah,
you're bowling
the
trash?
the axe will
Um,
fall on Babar Azam again. But tell us
एग्जैक्टली वो
about your
हर
Azam.
हर बंदा उसी को गालियां देगा हर वक्त क्योंकि वो कप्तान है बस इसलिए anyway I'll do my thing now. I'm going with
Yeah,
the same 11.
yeah,
No discussion points.
Listen, you
That's the
guys,
correct
I'm
take.
right. Okay, you guys are
yeah.
fake fans, so it's
Yeah, we're
fine.
fake
You know,
fans.
everything's okay.
I just want to
Yeah, man.
mention that Fakhar Zaman got 1 million rupees award rewarded by PCB for his innings. And this, like, what the fuck? Like, why are you announcing that right after a day after the game? No other team does this. PCB's, I don't know what these guys are thinking, man. And
नहीं,
by the
क्योंकि
way, I don't see Imam getting a million rupees.
दूसरों के प्लेयर्स कंसिस्टेंट होते हैं ना, हमारे कभी कभी करते हैं तो बोलते हैं, चलो यार उसको
Oh
दे दो
my
पैसे.
God, Ramiz.
Bro, you just took a
Why?
Yeah,
Why
what
isn't? Why isn't Imam getting a million rupees?
exactly,
If
you
he's
took a
so
shot at
fucking
me and
he's
I
good?
too
support, right?
consistent. He's too consistent.
he's too consistent to be
He's
picked in
getting
the
100
game
rupees
level.
every day because he's consistent, right? He's getting 100. He's getting an allowance every day.
Yeah.
I think we should ask Inzamam to give some of that 25 lakhs that he receives to Imamul Haq as some sort of a gift.
You're ठीक है. But yeah, we should have a debate. Arham, we'll have you all again, and maybe we can have you and Ramiz debate about Imam and
I
Imam
don't
and
want to be
Fakhar
there.
I would
Man.
love to, man. Yeah, it would be like a face-off.
We'll do it like, you know, we'll do it in person. We'll get like podiums and shit, and they'll have like mics in front of them, and they'll
Done,
we'll have
bro.
like
The
I,
great
I, I
cricketer,
don't I don't know if this can
Pakistan
be a
version.
debate because I don't know if this can be a debate. Fucker's turning 34,
What?
Imam's turning 28. Like, I don't know. Like,
Bro,
are
can you
we?
get out
but
of age
Ramiz,
bracket?
I'm
Age is,
looking at
No,
this.
we
age is
can't get
just
out
a
of age
fucking
bracket,
number.
bro. But we can't get out of
Age is
age.
just a
We've
number. Misbah
no,
Haq took you to
it's
number
not.
one while being age 42. Misbah Haq
Oh
scored a
God.
century at the home of
Oh,
cricket while being age 42. Age is just a number, man. As long as you're
It's
fit
not
and
just
ready
a
to
number.
go,
It's not
it's
just a
just a
number,
I
man.
will. I
number.
will agree. I will agree with Ramiz on that. I think at some point, you know, we need to start looking at what we have coming up in the future, right? And you need to bring some of these guys
Yeah,
in.
but
My
what
thing
he,
about Fakhar and Imam is that you know, I think Ramiz. My only problem with Ramiz's take is that I think he's being a little short sighted in
I'm
looking
not
at
being
Fakhar's
short. I'm looking
form.
the long run
Uh,
though. Again, he's
no,
34.
I'm
How
not
can
even
you
talking
another
not
about
bring
that.
point.
him
I'm not
up?
even talking about that.
Look,
Go ahead.
another point that we need to consider is that the 2027 World Cup is in South Africa, right? And that is a difficult place to bat. And that is essentially, that is also the place where Fakhar Zaman scored that magnificent, that a truly sexy 193, right? So he has some experience of playing
मेरे
over
भाई,
there.
he's gonna be 38 years old. I know you're saying age is just a number, but I'll ask you that 9 years later when you turn 30. You're 21 right now. That's why you think age is just a number.
Yeah, that's true actually. Arham,
Age is not just a number, man. Have you seen how Cristiano Ronaldo slowed down? Compare his pace when he's 30 years old to compare him
Oh,
to now when he's
yeah,
39
but
years old.
he slowed down because he is not the GOAT. He is only second to Lionel Messi, bro.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
now we're getting
Messi-
into this.
Okay,
stuff.
now this is turning into a fucking. I don't
But
know
I do
anything
say,
about
dude,
soccer.
soccer is a much more grueling and has a much higher effect on your body than
Yeah, but no, what I'm trying to get at is
Point
age
in
is
case
not
in
just a number.
Zamam.
Age is just not a number. It's
Awesome.
I agree with
Because
that. I agree with
we
that.
can- we
I
can- we
will
can-
make the same argument for Imad Wasim. I think I actually commented on your post, Arham, on Instagram, and I said that I think you had posted about Imad Wasim
Yeah,
being in the next T20 World Cup, and I replied saying
yeah.
I personally don't think he should be considered moving forward. And my reasons are a little bit more than just age, and I think he's a bit toxic, and he should stop
Very
playing
Politics.
on TV a lot.
Yeah, I
Politics and
think
stuff like that.
वो the factor आ जाता है, but given the fact how our current crop of spinning all-rounders, I think Shadab may be good in T20s. Nawaz is not doing well in T20s at all, so Shadab may need Imad for. I'm just keeping him for this particular T20 World Cup. After that, I think he's
Yeah,
done.
and that's fair. I think let me ask you guys a question actually, because this is a discussion I've had with a few people, and everybody's answer
Yeah,
is different.
yeah,
How much stock do you guys put into the camaraderie in a team? And we've talked about like Babar and his guys, and these guys are not letting anybody kind of get in the middle of like their team bonding and shit like that. And the Dosiyari thing has kind of come from that. And we've talked
yeah,
about like how good of a leader Babar has been as just a people leader, and making sure that
yeah.
all the politics and shit like that stay out of the team. How much stock do you put in? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying, Imad Wasim should be in the team, even in the ODI team right now. And I don't care if he's toxic. You need a good player. He's a good player. To counter that, you bring in a more assertive captain, and you bring in a more assertive coach to
Mhm.
deal with personalities like that. What do you guys think about that? I'll go last on giving my opinion on this.
Yeah, I'll go first. I personally think that to a certain extent, that is important at the end of the day because Ali Tareen also recently mentioned about that FIFA team chemistry that we have on the PlayStations. That is also important to have in the team. I think he was talking about in reference with the recent coaches that he had hired, and he was talking about that. But I think that is important to a certain extent, and that can be done when the two players in question are performing don't have that big of a gap in between their performances, right? मतलब 19-20 का फर्क हो, मतलब नवाज perform कर रहा हो, so then you can give the benefit of the doubt to someone who is your friend and someone that you like and you would like to be in the team, someone you can essentially control, right? But जब gap बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाए, or when Nawaz isn't giving you what he needs to do, so and somebody else is knocking on the door and he is performing in franchise cricket, and he is essentially that someone you need at the lower order, someone who can muscle those big sixes and also has the experience of finishing the games, right? So when the door gets starts to get knocked that loudly, so that is where the line is drawn, and the camaraderie or the dostiyari thing needs to be put behind. That is what
I just, for me, like the whole Imad Wasim thing was, his ODI thing. He hasn't played any. I don't know if you guys saw the clip on Twitter. I saw it the other day, and he was on. I don't know what show he's on TV with Mohammed Amir and
that's Harna Mana hai. That's on Geo.
yeah, Harnam and I on Geo. He was saying, a viewer asked a question, and they were like, if Imad Wasim wants to be considered for the ODI, and he did want to be considered for the ODI World Cup, why didn't he play any list A cricket? Even right now, National
Yeah.
Pakistan Cup is going on, and he's not
And
playing
he
in there.
said that
He said that
T10.
I'm playing the T10, right? So that's where I think that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
His
No,
abilities
I
aside,
think
you need to prioritize
he
these
pers-
things if you want to be selected for your national team. I think, and
I think he
um,
personally isn't interested in the ODI setup anymore as well. I think he would have
right.
been interested, maybe पिछले साल तक, but especially given the fact that he has said that on air, that shows that he is not looking for a comeback in the ODI team, definitely. But T20s, I think he is a clutch player.
But what do you guys think generally, Zen and Rami? Zen, I guess you go first.
No, I don't like him. I don't like him, but
No, no,
he's right.
I'm not talking
He's
about
right.
Imad Wasim.
The
I'm talking.
assert, yeah, no,
The
I'm talking
idea
about
of like,
Imad
yeah.
Wasim as well. Yeah.
I said I wasn't.
Oh well, I'm talking about Imad Wasim. No,
Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
like
Go
him, but this is a bigger. Let me keep going. So your buddy's talking about an assertive captain. He's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. Bubber's like favor points are at an all-time low, right? Like if they elected captains, Bubber he wouldn't be able to get reelected. So I look at Kamran Akmal during the Inzamam ul Haq era, right? Inzi was able to control these people. He was able to kind of stamp his finger down on these guys, and he was able to kind of keep the team together as a whole. Once Inzi left, we had nothing for a while. This is why somebody like Yunus Khan, who was a great captain, a great human being, and he was a great player, he could never stamp his captaincy down because he didn't have that assertiveness. How many times did he leave captaincy and come back? And 100% of the time, it was mostly because of the players or the team management, right? You need somebody that's headstrong, that can deal with these people. But right now, I wouldn't put Imad Wasim in the team because he thinks he's bigger than the team. Muhammad Amr thinks he's bigger than the team. They think that, and it's our fault to an extent as well, because they also hear all these people talking about how, Imad Wasim, he's a clutch player, he comes in, he can do this, he can do that, he's the answer to all our questions, kind of thing. Same with Muhammad Amr. People still, I mean, I don't think as people talk about him as much, but Bubber can't control them. Bubber wouldn't be able to do anything. And there would be a lot of infighting. There would essentially, with the guys that Bubber has set right now, there would be a team Bubber versus team whoever. There would be different pockets in the team. And for somebody that, grew up, in a different era of Pakistan cricket, where we went from Inzamam to the trash that followed of the 2010s, fuck no. I would not want the 2010s to repeat itself. Umar Akmal, same thing. Ahmed Shahzad, same thing, right? Misbah ul Haq was able to control those guys to an extent, but it wasn't, he was their people. Like when Misbah became selector, he brought back Ahmed Shahzad and gave Umar Akmal another chance. He brought back Mohammad Irfan, even though I don't think he's toxic or anything. I just think that he played his game and it's over for him now. But he brought back the same people. And it was the same thing. It wasn't working out. So I think that you're right. An assertive captain is fantastic. An assertive coach is. And Mickey Arthur is an assertive coach. But I don't think that the team that we have right now and the captain that we have in place right now, and maybe even the coach, Grant Bradburn, I don't think they'd be able to control these players, or they'd be able to kind of get them to see the bigger picture of this is a team game.
Mickey Arthur is an assertive coach. What evidence do we have of that? I don't like.
He told Umar Akmal to get the fuck out of the national
Okay,
academy.
that was back then, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, Mickey Arthur has been blaming everything except the team and himself for everything that's been. First he blamed them not playing the song. Now he's complaining about like being held down in the hotel.
His remarks get taken out of context, dude. You don't know Pakistan journalism? You don't know Indian journalism?
I agree with that too.
His remarks get full on taken out of context. He's talking about a broader picture, right? About like there is like he's an old man. He can compare it to how many different tournaments, how many different things. It's not like this is his first tournament, right? He can compare it to 2019 England. He can compare it to 2015 Australia. Like he can compare it to these things where it doesn't feel like it's a one-sided event, right? And now we're seeing like in different areas, and he was talking strictly Ahmedabad, and we all agreed with that it was wild. But we're talking Bangalore, we're talking Kolkata, we're talking Hyderabad. We haven't got that feeling from any of that, right? And he is just talking about security. He's saying that security is an issue, and it is. And now we know how players, when teams come to Pakistan, this is probably how they feel as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, yeah, you're right. The journalists, they kind of put a spin on it, right? And they make it sound like he's making excuse for the team's bad performance. And maybe that's his intent too. He's trying to get the attention away from that sort of stuff, and how the team is actually playing. Because those, if you look at it, like those kind of statements come after a big loss, or like that kind of shit. So that's
with anyone. That's with us too, right? Like even us just talking about it, we say the same shit, right? Like anybody,
we blame Babur instead, right?
Yeah, Babur told them not to sing Dil Dil Pakistan. He said, "I don't like that song."
Yeah, Babar.
No, in terms of your question, Usman, I think anyone who's played sport before would be able to tell you that having a good environment around the dressing room is very, 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 very important. One toxic player can obviously ruin the environment. I don't know how toxic Imad really is behind closed doors. He is a very important option for us, in my opinion, for the next T20 World Cup. But I don't know. I don't know if we take him because Nawaz is not it. He's uh, I don't think he has the control that we want from him. You could tell on
if I
that
have to
last
watch
delivery.
Nawaz bowl one more last over of the game, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, you can tell like, from the ball he bowled to Maharaj. There's no fine leg, and you're bowling down the leg
Yeah.
stump. It was, I don't know how he doesn't understand. You don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Imad. I don't know how. Again, I don't know how toxic he is behind closed doors, but he definitely is a very important player for us to consider for the next T20 World Cup.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I've for me, I don't think you pick him. And I guess it depends on who the captain would be for that too. We've talked about captaincy and whether Babar's gonna maybe not. Maybe he won't be captain by the time that World Cup rolls around, right? So we'll see. If somebody else is the captain, maybe they'll pick him. If Muhammad Ahmed makes a return as the captain of Pakistan, he'll pick him right away. So, um, yeah. Anything else you guys? I mean, India and South Africa today. I was excited for that game, and that turned out to be not
Yeah, me
close at
too.
all.
Sri
Arham,
Lanka,
you
New
saw that
Zealand,
game,
man.
right?
That's
I
the
didn't watch
next.
it.
Sri Lanka, New
Yeah, I
Zealand is
saw
the
that
next
game.
big
I
one.
think India. It was basically essentially a difficult pitch to bat on, and I think Rohit, despite being a difficult pitch to bat on, gave them a flyer. He scored 40 out of just 24 balls, and after that, whichever batter was coming, he was. All the batters were essentially taking their time to get adjusted to the pitch, right? I even saw Shreyas Iyer was at one point at 13 or just I don't know 25 balls, and that is after that he accelerated. So this shows how difficult a pitch it was, and India, despite that, against good bowling attack, managed to score 326. I saw Kohli score that traditional ODI innings. He was in fact at 74 of 92 balls at one point, and I immediately compared because numbers. When I saw those numbers, it immediately flashed my mind that Babar scored 74 of 92 balls in this World Cup. I think it was against India too. So what I'm trying to say is that when Kohli plays the same innings with the same strike rate, he is like portrayed as a goat. I agree that he's the goat. Okay? But when Babar Azam does the same, our very own fan base just crucifies him. Okay? So that was the comparison. But essentially, I was very happy to see a traditional ODI innings. Okay? It was a beautiful 100 of just 120 balls. Virat scored it on his 35th birthday, and then India just did what they have been doing in this World Cup. They took a couple of early wickets, and then Jadeja and Kuldeep just came and spun the web.
Yeah. India, like they're unbeatable. Do we even want to make the semis? What is the point?
Yeah, that. I think that is a very good question. I personally wouldn't want to go if we are facing India because our streak would just go to 9-0, and that is something that I'm not mentally ready for, at least
Yeah,
in this
maybe
edition of World Cup.
I was telling my wife yesterday when she came down at like 9 a.m. and I was like, I don't even know if I want to play in like I can't handle another loss in the same World Cup to them, and they're not
Bro,
like
does your wife know about cricket?
no, she doesn't. She doesn't.
Okay,
But
I
she's
thought.
always like telling me like every time I get up, like I've been getting up to watch the games at like 3 a.m. every time, and she's like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" Because she knows how Pakistan is, and like she knows, you know,
Mm,
it's usually not worth it. But
I think the onus is on the three of you to help me find a wife that likes cricket.
it's a hard thing to do. But yeah.
अपने लिए नहीं ढूंढ सके हम लोग आपके लिए कहाँ ढूंढेंगे
अगर होती तो हम अपने अपने नहीं हाँ that's a good point, right? But yeah, I just in terms of South Africa, like South Africa cannot chase. This is not a coincidence anymore. This is a pattern, and unless they bat first, these guys cannot score more than like 200 runs. That happened against us. That happened against Netherlands, and now against India. They didn't even get to 100 today. So They are, I don't know, man. Like, I was kind of hoping that South Africa would win today, so they would get to the top of the table, and maybe if we make it through somehow, we would maybe play them. But then, even if you expect to win that game, then you play India at Ahmedabad again, which is like, fuck, who wants that, right? Such a
Here we
hostile
go
thing.
again.
So there's no winning, and that's why. Remember when I asked you guys a few episodes ago? I asked you guys, what would you want to do? Beat India or make the final or whatever? And you guys were like, "Oh, I would rather make the final. Final में India ही होगा भाई." So this is a paradox basically.
कोई भरोसा नहीं है
Unless
सेमीफाइनल में
we
हार जाए वो
see
लोग
45 minutes of bad cricket.
Yeah, again, right? That's basically what they what needs to
What
happen.
happened in
Which,
2019?
but see, that's the thing, right? That's not they're playing at home this time. This is a different beast
Yeah, I
altogether.
know.
I don't expect that to happen to India at all. The way they were bowling
But
against Sri Lanka, I was watching that game. That like they have no weaknesses. Their bowling is
yeah, I
unreal right
know.
now,
But
and
during the match, I tweeted something like, what I'm essentially expecting was before this game that the loser of today's game will win the World Cup. That is the vague prediction that I have. Now, the reason for that is that nobody has been dominant like the Aussies of 2003 and 2007, right? So it's not easy to win a World Cup without losing any game. So even Mahendra Singh Dhoni in 2011 said that when they lost to South Africa, that sometimes it's better to lose a game in the league stage. That's
yeah,
like a wake up
yeah.
call. So India not
There is such
getting
a thing as peaking too early, right?
yeah,
There is
yeah,
that's
India
kind
not
of
getting a wake up call before the knockouts is a win-win for me because now I think South Africa is a stronger favorite to win the tournament. That is what I think personally.
this is for me this is more about India dominating than South. I have no faith in South Africa. We know what they do in World Cups. We know what they always do, right?
Unless they bat first, then
Unless this time, it looks like if they bat first, they have a good chance. All right, man. We've been talking for a long time. Anything else you guys want to go over? Pakistan, England on Saturday, right? Saturday in Canada.
whoa,
and
whoa,
Friday,
whoa,
I
whoa,
guess.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
New Zealand and Sri Lanka.
New Zealand and Sri Lanka.
That's bigger.
कुदरत का
than
निजाम
Pakistan.
बारिश का फोकस है. I'm telling you guys.
No, Sri
80%
Lanka, man,
chance
they have a psychological problem against India as well, man. They don't. They're
Yeah.
not a 55 all-out team.
नहीं, लेकिन यार,
Do you
I'm
know
not
that
worried.
Sri Lanka, I think if I'm not wrong, Sri Lanka has not beaten New Zealand in any ODI since 8 years or something. I think I read that, or I think
any ODI?
yeah, I think
that can't be right.
Considering that
8
ODIs
years,
don't get
or
played
I
that
think
often
it
anymore.
was something like they haven't beaten them in the last 8 ODIs or last 8 years in ODIs. That could essentially be true as well because I don't recall them playing any bilaterals, to be very honest.
Those are
And
two
whenever
very different hats, Arham.
yeah, and
It's on
whenever
Saad or hard ODI.
I'd say last 8 ODIs. That sounds right. And their World Cup head-to-head is pretty even. I think Sri Lanka has like 1 or 2 more wins than New Zealand.
I'll verify
But yeah,
that
man.
stat if I see. Yeah.
I'd like to see how that
in terms of net run rate, it's looking very tough. I think our best shot is, as Mazhar Arshad pointed out on Twitter, our best shot is either a rain out or Sri Lanka beats New Zealand and then we beat England. But the good thing for Pakistan is that we'll know exactly what we need to do when that game rolls around. If New Zealand beats them, then I think it's pretty much over.
But
the run rate equation is going to be so difficult that I don't think it's going to be possible.
We can't discount Afghanistan either, man. If they somehow beat Australia,
they need to lose one of their games as well. That's one of the only. That's one of the other criteria as well. But they could. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to win 2 though.
As long as they win 1, they're in the running. As long as they win 1,
no, they have to win both. They have to win both.
No, they have to win both.
Their net run rate's very low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming we win our match, even if they win 1 and they're tied with us on points, they're not going to be above us on net run rate. So we're gonna be fine there.
Awesome. Well.
Yeah. Well, Arham, you want to plug your YouTube thing in here one more time? I don't think I introduced your YouTube in the beginning.
Yeah, right? Sure. I've just started a YouTube channel, and it's a platform for covering cricket as well. It's basically Stumps and Insights. I think Osman will mention the tag in the details. So yeah, go follow and go like and share and subscribe, whatever, and all of that to see some great content and some great content coverage.
Sounds good. Yeah, follow Arham and his YouTube thing, Stumps and Insights. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna be back, I think, after. I don't know. Well, we'll figure that out. I think in the middle of the week sometime. Well, maybe we'll do a preview of the Pakistan England game.
No, I think we
And
should.
then-
We'll be back after New Zealand Sri Lanka.
Sri
'Cause
Lanka.
that's the
Okay, yeah,
biggest
that
thing.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
'cause
so maybe
that's
we'll do that,
Thursday.
and then we'll do a preview of our game, and then that'll
Yeah.
give us a good picture of what it's looking like for Pakistan.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
Arham, thanks for joining us, man. I hope it was fun for you. We had a great
It's a
time.
pleasure,
So
bro.
yeah,
It's
thanks
a
for
pleasure.
listening.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I hope to see you guys soon. Why don't you guys come over next time? As soon as I find a bracket or a time
Sure,
frame
yeah,
on
yeah.
my
Let us
show.
know if you, if you want to have
Yeah,
all of us
I think
on, or
that.
if you want to have like one person on, that would be fine too.
Nah, man, I'll have all of
If,
you on. No worries.
all right, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that, and then yeah, we're looking forward to that. I think that'll be good. Maybe we'll get. It's good to be a guest too, right? Like I on
yeah.
somebody
It's
else's show.
very. I think it's less stressful for me personally. I just need to just say what I want to and be a cricket fan for once. But when
Yeah,
I'm hosting, I need to get the thumbnails ready, and it's so hectic. I swear to God, bro, I got sick last week because of the burnout, because I'm handling this all on my own, so it gets quite stressful
yeah,
sometimes with the
yeah.
university and everything. I'm still a
I hear
sophomore,
you,
bro.
man. I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining us. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at shot_yar. Follow us on YouTube at shotyar and TikTok at shotyar. Visit us at shotyar.com. Thanks for listening. See ya.